Hi Vine community, it's Mike here, and today I'm going to do a contest entry. Now, I don't do that many contest entries, but this one I'm doing for two reasons. Firstly, it's for a guy who's got a really nice channel. He shows some great stuff. He's a lovely guy. He's called Chris, and his channel is called Stylus Meets Vinyl, and he's up there in Canada. And secondly, the contest itself gives you an opportunity to show music that you might not otherwise show. So it's a really good idea, I think, this one. So what does Chris want us to do? Oh, I should say it's Chris celebrating 1,000 subscribers. That's why he's doing the contest. Right, so what does Chris want us to do? Well, first of all, if you're not already subscribed to his channel, go over and do so. Secondly, he wants you to give a shout out to another VC channel. And then thirdly, he wants you to show some vinyl. And specifically, he wants you to show an album associated with all 7 continents. And that includes Antarctica. And I'll come to how you can resolve that later on when I get to my entry on Antarctica. And finally, he wants us to show an album from a band or artist in Canada. So here goes with my entry. So, I'm here in the UK, so I thought I'd start with Europe, but I didn't really want to do a UK or British band. So I've gone for these guys, and it's an all-female trio, and they're called Alice, and they consist of a mother and daughter and a friend of the daughter's, and they're from Switzerland. And the album is called Oiseau Magnifique, The Magnificent Bird, and it's quite difficult to explain what sort of music this is, because it's quite lo-fi, it's electronic, but there's a lot of lovely a cappella in there as well. So I mean, you probably haven't heard of this band. I mean, I only came across them by chance, had a listen online and thought, yeah, they're really quite nice. So this is from Switzerland, and my entry for Europe, and it's Alice. And it came with this insert here with some birds and various details of the tracks there on the back. So that's the first one. So from Europe, I've decided I'll go down to Africa, and I thought I'd show this album. This is from 1987. Yes, 1987, and it's Murray County, and it's as you can see, it's Aquaba Beach, and you can probably see on the hype sticker there it says includes the European hit Yeke Yeke, and it was a bit of a sort of a disco sort of club hit in 1987 all across Europe. And apparently it was the first single from Africa to actually sell 1 million copies. This is really lovely sort of, feel-good music. Murray County plays a kora amongst other instruments. It's really nice album. And I hadn't listened to it for quite some time, and I gave it a listen yesterday, and it's still as good as it ever was. So that's my entry for Africa, and it's Murray County and Aquaba Beach. So from Africa, we go across to Asia, and this lady, she's from Japan, from Hokkaido region, and she's called Hatisnoi, and her music is very sort of electronic. It can be very sort of ambient, and this album from 2021, I think, it's called Aura, and yeah, it's electronic, it's ambient, but there's many sort of references to Japanese music in there as well, and it's a really sort of great sort of chill out sort of listen. And the album itself came with a lovely signed print there. So that's Asia, represented by Japan. So right, Next off, Australia, or if we're talking about continents, I suppose I should say Australasia. But I thought I have to show these guys, the Mighty Saints from Australia. This is their second album from 1978. It's called Eternally Yours, and I've been listening to an awful lot of Saints in the last few days because there's been a box set issue of their debut album, I'm Stranded, and you get four albums in the box, and you can probably see it up there, the black box up behind me. And you get a 1976 mix of the album, 1977 mix of the album, and then you get singles, and one side of the album are the singles, and the other side of the album you've got live versions of some of the singles. And then, last but not least, an absolutely fabulous live gig that was November 1978 at the Hope and Anchor in Islington in North London. And I really would have wanted to be at that gig. It sounds fantastic. But this is, as I say, this is the Mighty Saints and Eternally Yours. And it's got the single This Perfect Day on it, which is my favourite Saints single, and possibly, well, definitely one of my favourite punk songs of all time. So there you go, representing Australasia, the Saints. Right, South America. Now, I don't have an awful lot of South American music, I have to admit, but I did pick up this a little while ago, and this is called Visions of Dawn. It's by a Brazilian singer called Joyce, and she's accompanied by Nana Vasconcelos and Maurizio Maestro. And this was a record store release, I think last year, and it's just a lovely, lovely Brazilian sort of dancey album. It's really, really nice sort of Brazilian sort of rhythms there. You know, it says on the back here that she has a gorgeous, expressive voice, and I would certainly agree with that. And you know, apparently she was very big in the 1970s in Paris. So there you go. So that's representing South America, and that's the wonderful Joyce and Visions of Dawn. Right, North America. Now, I didn't want to show a US band, and you know, we've got to show a Canadian band anyway. So I thought, well, you know, the Caribbean is part of North America. So what better than to show Black Uhuru and their reggae album, Chill Out, and you know, you got Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare on here, and like they produced the album. It was recorded at Channel One Studio in Kingston, Jamaica, and it was also at Compass Point Studios in Nassau, and it was engineered in Nassau by the looks of it. And it's a fantastic album. I really like Black Uhuru, and you know, Sly and Robbie are just you know, absolute legends in the reggae scene with their, you know, drum and bass. Yeah, Sly Dunbar on the drums and Robbie Shakespeare on the bass, and they provide you know, back into many you know, great albums. So that's North America, and that's Black Uhuru. Right. So finally, the final continent is Antarctica, and Chris, you know, obviously concedes that there aren't many, if any, bands from Antarctica. So what he wants us to do is to show an album that has some sort of connection, however tenuous, with Antarctica. And I'm just lucky enough that I've got this album by the Flatworms. They're a garage punk band from Los Angeles, and their album just happens to be called Antarctica. As you can see, it says Volume 1, California. And this is great sort of garage punk. Brilliant album. Right, and finally, Canada. Now these guys, again, they kind of defy description, really. Are they art punk? Are they post punk? Are they experimental hip hop. What are they? But they're great, and they're called Crack Cloud. And Crack Cloud hail from Vancouver, I believe. I did write it down, or did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, Calgary. Calgary is where they come from. And this is their album called Pain Olympics. There it is. And it says based on true shit. So who's to disagree with that? And yeah, it's a fantastic album. As I say, it's genre defined really, but it's very noisy. It's very experimental, and it's just great. And it came with a single. So there you go. There's the single, and this is called The Uncanny Valley, and then it's got Cracking Up on the B side of the single. So those are the albums. So as I say, one from each continent plus an extra one from Canada. And the final thing I need to do is give a shout out to another channel. And again, because it's a very international contest, I thought, well, I won't shout out anybody in the UK. So I've gone for a guy who shows a lot of music that I haven't seen before, a lot of really interesting stuff. He shows a lot of singles. His channel's called Vinyl Stockholm, and his name is Jonas, and he's a great guy. And I'll leave a link in the description, as I will a link to Chris's channel. And have a go yourself. I thought this was a really interesting contest to do, and give Chris your support. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.